The 13th Bell Part 1 nestled in the windswept highlands of Scotland. Ravensmoor Church has stood abandoned since 1863. Locals whisper that on midnight every Friday the 13th, a single bell tolls from its ruined tower, though no bell exists inside. Legend says the church once had 12 bells, but there was a 13th never mounted. Not meant for the living, but to remind the dead of the way back. Ancient records from the Edinburgh Library tell of a 13th bell, cast from metals gathered from 7 ancient graveyards. Inscribed with a backward Latin curse, the bell is a binding artifact. For if it tolls 3 times, a gateway will open. In 2011, archaeologist James Rowlands discovered the 13th bell, sealed beneath the church. Ignoring warnings, he brought it to the surface. That night, thick black mist covered the village. Locals began sharing the same dream, a procession of eyeless figures emerging from the graveyard. A week later, James vanished. Only his half-burned journal remained in his tent, the last sentence written in blood. If the 13th bell tolls 3 times, the world will no longer be ours. In 2023, a YouTube group called Midnight Vaults streamed from the ruins of Ravensmoor. In the final footage, the camera shakes violently. A deep gong echoes, though no one touched the bell. The cameraman shouts. That was the second time. The bell rang again. No one must let it toll a third. The video was deleted after 48 hours. Yet viewers reported dreams of someone knocking at their door at 3:13 a.m. with hands covered in cemetery mud. Final note: the tolls have already rung in this century. If the third rings, the world may become a chapel for the dead. Chapter 2: False Light. Night had no meaning here. In the blackness of the deep, there was no sunrise. No sunset, only pressure, cold, and silence. As a bisque glider drifted further into the trench, the crew spotted something strange on the monitors. Tiny lights, faint, floating like stars. "They're beautiful," Rico murmured, raising her camera. But Hannah's expression turned pale. "No, that's not beauty, it's bait." Before anyone could react, the lights multiplied. Dozens, then hundreds. They circled the submersible like an underwater war. But beneath those flickers, the camera caught a glimpse of something moving. Long, slender, with translucent skin and rows of tiny teeth, glowing faintly in the dark. "Aiden," Hannah said firmly, "those are predators. They use light to lure prey in the darkness. Get us out of here now." Leon activated the reverse thrusters, but the sub shook. "They're interfering with our magnetic field," he said. "I think they're emitting pulses, deliberate interference." Outside, one of the creatures brushed the hull. It had a serpentine body, fins that waved like torn cloth, and multiple bioluminescent nodules along its spine. Its mouth opened slowly, revealing rings of inward-bending teeth. "I think it's scanning us," Marco whispered. Suddenly, a shriek pierced through the sonar. One of the creatures had latched onto a robotic arm and began biting down with terrifying force. "Cut it off," Aiden ordered. Leon hit the release mechanism. The robotic arm detached and was swallowed into the black, vanishing in seconds. The sub surged backward, narrowly avoiding a second ambush. The glowing swarm began to scatter as quickly as it had come. For a moment, the darkness returned. But this time, they welcomed it. The 13th Bell Part 3. For the first time in over a century, wind swept through the bell tower of Ravensmoor. Grass bent all in one direction. Animals fled, locals awoke in unison, covering their ears, whispering things even they couldn't understand. Something had changed. The secret society known as the Order of Mornlight, protectors of ancient seals, called upon their last 3 members. Amara Lang, the last bloodline descendant of the Bell's original forger. Dr. Elias Ward, a linguist who decoded 3 verses of the Bell's curse. Father Desmond, a defrocked priest who saw the faceless shadow in Romania. Their mission: ascend the Ravensmoor Tower and reseal the 13th Bell before the blood moon rises. Their mission: ascend the Ravensmoor Tower and reseal the 13th Bell before the blood moon rises. The tower didn't unlock with a key, but with a reversed prayer, read from a mirror. Each step creaked like a whispering throat. Walls etched with unpronounceable glyphs caused bleeding, ears if stared at too long. At each level, invisible guardians blocked their path, only visible through distorted reflections. "You won't stop it," one voice hissed. "This bell was waiting before your species had words." The bell hadn't been struck yet, it vibrated softly, matching a human heartbeat. Mara, bonded by blood, was the only one who could hear it. Dr. Ward discovered something worse. The 13th Bell was not hollow. It held a heart still beating, still warm. "This isn't an object," he whispered. "It's a being, and if it tolls again, it won't awaken." Father Desmond volunteered to perform the sealing ritual, knowing that whoever touched the bell last would replace Elijah as the next bell ringer forever caught outside time. He ascended, read the blood prayer, and the bell gave a half scream before falling silent. The gateway did not open. But Desmond was gone. Only a shadow remained, clutching the mallet, head bowed, waiting. Amara vanished soon after. Dr. Ward lost all memory. The bell was sealed with 13 iron rings and buried beneath the chapel floor. But one stormy night, a camera caught a child near the church, dragging a chain through the mist. At the end of the chain, a small, golden bell swinging soundlessly, but somehow, still ringing. No one truly stops the 13th Bell. They only delay it. Because the bell does not ring with metal, it rings with souls. The 13th Bell Part 4. After the sealing ritual at Ravensmoor, Amara Lang vanished. She left behind a locked chest and a human skin-bound book, titled Bellum Silence, with a blood-stained warning. The reader must never speak the name. Dr. Elias Ward discovered inside a revelation. The 13th bell was only the gatekeeper. There was another bell never forged, never struck a bell that made no sound, but would awaken the dead across centuries. In the Swiss Alps, the village of Seelisberg reported strange disappearances over 7 consecutive nights. Authorities arrived to find wax bells placed on dining tables in every home. Charcoal written phrases on walls, "Do not awaken those who forgot they had died." Security footage from the church captured a pale child in mourning, robes dragging a rusted chain across the aisle. What followed the chain was never seen, only the growing darkness behind her. Dr. Ward began hearing the soundless bell in his sleep, not in his ears, but vibrating through his spine. A whisper haunted him. The bell does not toll, it remembers. And those who remember, call back the lost. And those who remember, call back the lost. Forged from infant bones that never cried, and clay mixed with sacred salt, this bell had no clapper, no inscription, no origin. Inside the abbey's crypt, the walls pulsed with thousands of faces, mouths open, eyes sealed. When Ward touched the bell, every device recorded 1,000 whispering voices, each speaking names of people he'd forgotten or tried to forget. Team members began speaking in voices not their own family, lovers, strangers long dead. Team members began speaking in voices not their own family, lovers, strangers long dead. This is memory, returning with voices not meant to be heard again. Burn his own blood to bind the soundless bell. Burn his own blood to bind the soundless bell. His final journal entry. I can no longer tell who is alive in my memories. And if the world cannot remember who is truly gone, perhaps the bell should ring. If one night you hear a bell in your mind but no sound fills the air, do not answer. Because what calls you may not be someone you know, but someone who remembers ****** you from a lifetime you never survived. The 13th Bell Part 5. The night at Ravensmoor was silent, but not peaceful. In the darkness, there were movements that no one could see, sounds that no one could hear. It was the price of a world that had forgotten the presence of death. The village was no longer a place of the living. The abandoned houses, the silent roads, no one walked them anymore. The souls that had passed through that door, those who had forgotten they ever existed, were now returning, and no one knew. A bell tolled in the unseen. No one heard it, but everyone felt it. Only those brave enough could approach the place where the bell had once been. A strange figure appeared at the gate of Ravensmoor on the final night of March. A man with no name, no age, just a shadow under the faint light of the street lamp. He said nothing, just stood there, his eyes dark as if they had no end, staring at the cursed 13th bell. He walked up the old wooden stairs of the church, his steps echoing in the still night, his eyes wide with unease, as if he knew something was about to awaken. With every step, the air seemed to tremble, as if signaling something terrible was imminent. Then, the bell tolled once more, But this time, it was not the sound of a physical object. There was no clang of metal, no vibration. It was just an eerie resonance, deep and unsettling. As if the universe itself was holding its breath. The large iron door of the church slowly creaked open, on its own, without anyone touching it. It was like a door that had no key, and it opened as if welcoming someone back from a forgotten time. The light that spilled out wasn't tea from the candles or any earthly source. It came from deep within the earth, from the realm of the dead where the lost souls would never find their way back. That was when the whispers began, not from the living, but from memories that never died. No one understood what was happening, but a dark figure appeared, It was not a person, not a ghost, something beyond human comprehension. It resembled a person who had once lived, but had no soul left, just a shadow of existence. This shadow stood in a corner, watching the villagers gathered at the church door. They couldn't see it, but the feeling of something pressing down on every breath was palpable. They didn't know that tonight, death would find them again, In the dreams of the last living villager, they found themselves standing atop the church's bell tower. The sun had set, and only darkness remained. The entire village was in an unnatural stillness, as if this world was no longer meant for human life. The bell didn't toll, but fear itself, had permanently shaped their minds. The door was no longer locked, With each toll, the ghostly presence grew stronger, pulling everyone into the world of forgotten souls. The bell had once tolled, and now it was time for the final bell ringer to strike. When the light from the door vanished, no one saw the dark figure again. All that remained was silence and a faint whisper in the wind. It was not the bell that rang ... but the resurrection. It was then that the shadow, the nameless figure, became the final bell ringer. They didn't know that when the bell tolled again, nothing in this world could stop what was sealed in the past. With a gesture, the bell ringer opened the door to time. Not with the power of the bell, but with the souls that had been forgotten. The darkness consumed everything, and when silence fell, no one knew whether they were still alive or just shadows of. And so a new cycle began. The 13th bell would never cease ringing. The 13th Bell Part 6. The night at Ravensmoor was silent, but not peaceful. In the darkness, there were movements that no one could see, sounds that no one could hear. It was the price of a world that had forgotten the presence of death. The village was no longer a place of the living. The abandoned houses, the silent roads, no one walked them anymore. The souls that had passed through that door. Those who had forgotten they ever existed, or no returning, and no one knew.